I know from personal experience that the abuse of prisoners will produce more bad than good intelligence. I know that victims of torture will offer intentionally misleading information if they think their captors will believe it. I know they will say whatever they think their torturers want them to say if they believe it will stop their suffering. Most of all, I know the use of torture compromises that which most distinguishes us from our enemies, our belief that all people, even captured enemies, possess basic human rights which are protected by international conventions the United States not only joined, but for the most part authored. When we fight to defend our security, we fight also for an idea, not for a tribe or a twisted interpretation of an ancient religion or for a king, but for an idea that all men are endowed by their Creator with inalienable rights.
That was, of course, late Senator John McCain speaking out against inhumanity and torture. This is part of his legacy, and we wanted to just honor that today and honor how he would make a stand and how he did make a stand and broke from his party on that specific issue.
He broke from his party on that issue. It was the first of what would become many, including healthcare, the last time that we voted on that. And I would also like to point out that this is just a small token of appreciation to a man that had a legacy as large as his. His policies, whether you agreed or disagreed, touched many people's lives. His story is amazing. He's a survivor of torture from the Vietnam War, and that's why we chose this particular clip to play of him.
Yeah, he really exemplified something, Justin, that is lacking severely in the GOP today, and that's honor.
And courage.
Honor and courage, yes. The bravery. He was one of the only senators that would stand up boldly against Trumpism and continue to. It didn't matter what Trump threw at him. He stood his ground and never wavered from that.
As late as last year, December, I believe, he was calling out certain senators for being Russian assets before he had to take his leave of absence to receive therapy for his brain cancer.
His is a voice that will be missed, and really it should be missed no matter what party you are. We need more people that are going to put honor and integrity and country before party.
Someone that really just gets being an American. We're lacking that in all of our levers of power in this country. I feel like we're just lacking a cohesive idea of what America is and how America should act and treat its adversaries and its allies.
He understood. It strikes me thinking about, McCain versus Trump. And he, as much as Trump goes on and on about making America great, John McCain really did understand what makes America great.
He really did. He really did. And as Trump is famously quoted as mocking his POW status and saying that he doesn't like people that get caught. But getting caught isn't what made John McCain a war hero. What made John McCain a war hero was his refusal to be released based on his status. He stayed behind with his men. He gave his captors false information so that they were not able to have any successful strikes against the United States during a wartime. Those are the types of things that you don't teach someone. You don't teach someone courage like that. You don't teach someone honor like that. And someone who acts and behaves in that way already gets what America is about.
That's so true. Is there any Republican who will or can take up this mantle now of country over party? Is there anyone, or, I guess we really have to hope and pray one will raise up, because I don't see one right now. There are two senators that have spoken out, but they're both leaving. They're both leaving
one
the
of them
Senate.
from our very own state.
Yeah.
So it's it's a thing that I hope happens, because there's a lot to be said for the process here, whether you're conservative or if you're liberal, and you're basing your arguments in truth and fact and belief. But that truth and those facts and the beliefs all have to stem from the trust that you guys are both arguing in the what you believe is the best direction for what America should be. Right now, I don't feel that trust from our administration. I don't feel that trust from our Congress. And that's sort of what makes John McCain's death at this time so tough.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like losing, just chipping away at one more piece of that idealism of what we hold up as of what America is and could be and should be. Just the whole idea of country over party. He called himself the Maverick. I'm an Arizona native, and I virtually don't remember a time when I was born in the 80s, so I don't remember a time when John McCain wasn't senator here in Arizona. And even though, yes, vehemently disagreed with him on so many issues, probably the majority, he's someone who, what we're talking about, honor, still would stand up. It was sealed for me in 2008 when he could have done what Trump has done in embracing the propaganda, embracing the extreme right.
Yep, fueling the attacks.
Fueling racism and fueling just extremism. And he didn't take the bait, and he stood up when asked, pretty much, really what was being asked is, I think Obama's a terrorist,
Right, he's an Arab. I can't trust him.
Yeah, which, there's nothing wrong with being an Arab in itself. So that in itself shows that this is something this woman was being fed, on this information, this propaganda stream somewhere that,
first of all, Arabs are bad.
Yeah, that Arabs are bad, that Arabs are scary, that they're terrorists or something.
That they're obviously untrustworthy if you're just using her literal own words. I can't trust him. He's an Arab. Mm-hmm. So they're obviously untrustworthy. John McCain didn't buy any of that.
No, he just rejected the whole line.
Yeah, and in fact defended Obama, calling him a decent man, a good family man, a citizen.
Yeah, a citizen who loves his country.
Yeah.
And that's something the party, even in 2008, didn't want to say.
Scared of.
Yeah, he's nothing to be afraid of. He said he just happens to be someone I vehemently disagree with on policy issues. And boy, can you imagine if we had more of that right now? If that's what we had on the left and the right.
Right.
If we could literally, no, you know what? You're coming from a place of love for your country. But I don't agree with you.
Right.
That's it. I don't agree with you on this policy. And I bring that into thinking about the Christian realm, like even the far right evangelicals who look at Christian Democrats and Christians who vote for Democrats and will say, when we see them on Twitter all the time, on Facebook all the time, it's in churches everywhere, because people are you guys are telling us that this is happening to you. You've been telling me for years it's happening to you. You've been, excommunicated from your churches because of it. That you can't just look across the aisle and say, okay, I have some doctrinal differences with you. I have some differences theologically. I have some differences politically. But you know what? I know that you are a God-fearing, loving Christian. You love the Lord. I respect you. I just disagree with you. No, instead it's, you want to murder babies.
Right.
You're going to hell.
Right.
It's
almost a race to who can get to zero sum the fastest.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it just, we just want to honor though John McCain today, and this week, and, continue to talk about his legacy as things go into the midterms, and And, like, again, it doesn't matter. We don't have to agree on every issue. And I just would like to just end out this part of the show with a quote, actually, from Rachel Maddow. And I know that we do quote Rachel often on the show, but this was especially something that I thought she just encapsulated it so perfectly, because we don't want to focus the attention away from McCain himself, because that's not what the family would want either. And that's not what John McCain would want, to talk about, Trump and the pettiness and the smallness of Donald Trump.
Well, he did everything that he did just proved that he's not a president. He's a petulant child that is holding on to these grudges for no reason. Like there's when someone that you disagreed with or that you fought with politically has now passed on, what are you angry about? Isn't that a victory? Isn't that a win? Why are you still holding on to this anger? He's
angry at him. And I really, truly believe that he hated John McCain because he's everything that he won't be. And because his legacy goes down as one of courage and heroic. And where Donald Trump knows his will go down as treasonous and petty and small. And I think that's why he hated him. He just can't. He can't abide by someone who's everything he's not.
And he's stealing the limelight right now.
And he's stealing the limelight. And that's truly how this man, if you look at narcissists, that's what they do. Rachel Maddow said, even people who disagreed with John McCain vehemently on policy matters have found a very easy path to recognizing his extraordinary service to his country, except for this White House. This ought to be the world's simplest governing task. All you have to do is just be decent. Don't make it about yourself. Just be decent. That's all you have to do.
Be good to each other.
Be decent.